Right, real estate, real talk this week. We got to get into it. Just about every economist out there anticipating the economy to kind of slow down. Some are projecting a recession this year. That slowdown expected to hit the real estate market as well. But we kind of have to ask here, where's the slowdown? Here to talk about that, Los Angeles real estate agent and our expert, of course, here on Current, Keri White. Keri, you ready to get into this?
Yeah, I was a little distracted by those amazing gifts from techish.com on your previous segment. I made some tips here. Thanks for that. Getting ahead of Mother's Day.
I know, getting ahead of Mother's Day. I had to mark that on my calendar for sure. All right, the economy, It's been a little jittery. A lot of experts predicted that home prices would be heading down this year. So let's do the math here. We're 4 months in, and it hasn't happened. What's helped kind of stabilize the market?
Well, it's our simple supply and demand, as we all remember from schooling. And this is what we've been talking a lot about on this show, that everybody is expecting things to crash because that's what cycles normally do. They go up, they go down. And right now that's not happening because of our lack of inventory. We're in an inventory crisis where there's just not a ton of properties for sale. It's down about 20% across the nation in general. And in some specific markets, it's down 40%. Now, that doesn't mean prices are down everywhere. But also keep in mind that the housing affordability has changed recently when rates went from 7.3 to 6.5. That can be $500 to $1,000 on your mortgage, depending on your price point, $500,000 versus $1 million wherever you're looking. So 1 point on your interest rate can dramatically change your price point that you can afford. So this is really propping up this housing market that's just become quite high, to be honest.
Yeah, and prices aren't rising or falling evenly. So what are some markets out there that have these big price changes?
Definitely a good point. It's not very even. You know, you have an exodus from certain big cities going to areas like Texas and Arizona. And so some of those areas are getting hit the hardest. But we have places booming right now, like Scranton, of all places, but then you've got San Jose, which you're seeing a big price correction. But Fortune magazine did this great piece on the adjusted Zillow value index, and we'll just bring up a couple of those that they mentioned. So some of the top cities that have booming values is Miami, Florida, which is a bummer. I'm trying to buy an investment there, but that is really the number one on the list at around 8%. And then kind of a little random, Richmond, Virginia, Oklahoma City, Hartford, Connecticut, which we have heard that Connecticut, Ohio, like Cincinnati, Columbus, those have been very strong markets. And then you look at the opposite end of the spectrum, and we have some California cities in there, San Jose, San Francisco, and then of course our exodus cities like Las Vegas, Phoenix. So you are seeing a varied degree of home price appreciation and depreciation. The thing is, it's only about 5 to 10% either way. And in this market, those large fluctuations are kind of the norm right now. So watch the interest rates, watch these little trends, because you can jump in and swoop a deal without a ton of competition when rates spike up for a minute.
Yeah, such good and useful information there. Those California cities a little surprising as well. As we go into the year, the consensus was really we're headed for a slowdown. Would you say that prediction was wrong, or should we anticipate maybe this happening in the months ahead in this year?
Well, we're going to see a slowdown in the sense of the amount of properties selling, and that could be a norm for a little while. We do have a generational change that's happening as the baby boomers are getting older and finally selling their homes, but we've got this pent-up demand from the very top, and until that loosens up a bit, we're not going to see a really easy flow of properties coming on the market. So, of course, you know, I speak to people all the time that say, I don't care about the numbers. I know the market's going down. So this general consensus that the news outlets is putting out there is just because they can't wrap their head around prices not dropping and prices not crashing. So will things be slower for the amount of sales? Yes, but does that mean prices are going down? Not necessarily. So I really don't think things will change much from these predictions that we have. And hey, we can go back and check out this episode later in the year, but I feel like this will be a consistent conversation throughout the year as rates stay pretty high and inventory stays low.
Yeah, we can definitely check back. We'll continue to cover this and many other things. So thank you, Keri, for your time here today.
Of course. See you soon.
Tune in every Wednesday for more Real Estate Real Talk. Also, in the meantime, follow Keri right there on Instagram. It is so easy to click that follow button. That's at Keri Ann. Subscribe to her YouTube channel, Keri White Real Estate. We'll be right back.